whoever you are, wherever you are, I hope you are blessed and doing safe. Ladies and gentlemen, greetings, family. Of course, I'm tuning in. You see me without the glasses off today. But if you're looking for some opportunities, particular advertisement opportunities, then look no further at the link at the bottom to my email address. You can hit me up for advertisement opportunities. We are supporting and promoting your businesses here on this channel. You can also, if you would like to donate and subscribe to our Patreon, a link is at the bottom as well. So you have multiple ways in which you can advertise with the platform by emailing me when we go on through our live stream. You also have access to premium content, those that want to see premium content that you will not find here on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter, as I am suspended probably by now. You guys can check out the Patreon at link at the bottom. But advertisement opportunities, definitely email me, gavin.gh1@gmail.com for rates. And for the Patreon, it is the same as the YouTube channel. It is channel gboot2786. All right, I'll holla. Peace. All right, fam, what's up? The place to be is right here with me. It is Random Topic Sundays, only on channel gboot2786. Whoever you are, wherever you are, I hope you are blessed and doing safe. Greetings, family. We have a lot we're going to go ahead and get into. We actually are going to be talking about more fallout from the arrest and murder of death of Tyre Nichols. Also, we're talking about more questions regarding the Paul Pelosi footage that was released, how Jason Whitlock and other Black conservatives embarrassed themselves, and a fitness influencer forced to eat her words over a viral video she posted to prove harassment at the gym. All this and more tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Also, we would like you to please donate to the channel by going to the CashApp, PayPal, or Zelle. As you know, our channel is not monetized, so any support that you can give to this channel, we greatly appreciate it. Shout out to everybody in the chat. They say I got 5 people here, but I know that's not true. Where we at, B1 family? Shout out to Kid Gravity. Shout out to Danielle Meyer. We're alive, and I'm coming at you with 5, as always, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go ahead and get it started right now. I also ask if you would like to you should hit that notification bell so that when we go live, you'll get an alert. And I know that sometimes our YouTubers have complained, my followers have complained about not getting notifications when we go live. Some people have been unsubscribed, but we want y'all to come in. What's up, nerds? Come on, I know we got more people in there. We're going to discuss, obviously, more fallout from what happened with Tyre Nichols. Of course, I'm going to come up right now on screen. Hold on 1 second. You know, I guess I can play it, although I'm going to get a copyright strike. But before we get started with anything, as always, before we get on down, we like to get on up. You're staying your climb to 2K slowly, very slowly. If YouTube doesn't, YouTube has put us on a shadow ban, as everybody knows. They've been on some bullshnackle, but we're gonna go ahead and go live right now, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, let's go on. I wasn't gonna play it, but let's get on up.
Girl, come on. Gotta dance to the beat, because on the dance floor is where we'll be. Show me what you got. Gotta feel the groove.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the.
Right now the party's wasted. There's nothing much to do. But once the groove gets started, tell me, what do you have to lose? Just look into my eyes, girl, as we glide across the room. And what to my surprise now, the beat takes hold of you. Now if you're feeling like I'm feeling, so come on baby, let's start dealing. Time to get this party started. Ain't no time for the broken hearted. We're in the you. There's only one thing left to do, cause the beat is really moving. Time to get your body moving. Gotta get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up.
Tell the DJ play the whispers. Rock steady in the mood. Put on Earth, Wind, and Fire. Tonight we're gonna groove. Show me how you do the four corners. Electric slide or two. Hit the bus stop or do the bunny hop, baby. It's really up to you. Now if you're feeling like I'm feeling, so come on baby, let's start dealing. Time to get this party started. Ain't no time for the broken hearted. When the rhythm takes hold of you, there's only one thing left to do, cause the beat is really grooving. Time to get your body moving. Gotta get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up.
Now, 2020 hasn't been the best year of all times. We've been dealing with death, the pandemic, racism, bad policing, and all the bad rhymes. But like Uncle Snoop once said, if you breathe and you achieve. And so, if you're ready, I need you all to get on up. Are you ready? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Get your butt on the dance floor. 5 and 6 and 7, 8. This jam we appreciate. We're gonna slide and step on the beat. On the dance floor is where we'll be.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up
And move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up.
Baby, yeah, gotta get on up. Come on, baby, gotta get on up. Baby,
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up.
We got to get on up. It's welcome. We're going to get started. Ladies and gentlemen, greetings. Welcome to another edition of Random Topic Sundays. Of course, we always get numb when we see stuff like this. The big news, obviously, what's happened in the last 48 hours. On Friday, the Memphis Police Department, the city, released all of the video footage, although some parts of the news that I saw were edited when I watched it on the local Fox affiliate there out in Memphis, of the traffic stop, the subsequent beating, because it wasn't an arrest, it was a beating of Tyre Nichols, and the fallout from that. Now, we've already came on Thursday and talked about how 5 officers have been charged with 5 black cops that were involved in it. But more came out as it was reported that the Memphis Police Department Chief C.J. Davis announced that they would be disbanding the Scorpion unit as a result of the fallout from Tyre Nichols' murder, his death. A statement that was released that was by the Memphis Police Department says and trust the following, ladies and gentlemen, says this. Today, Memphis police officers assigned to the Scorpion Unit, Street Crimes Operations to restore peace in our neighborhoods. Yeah, peace, right. Met with Chief Serlin C.J. Davis to discuss the path forward for the department and the community in the aftermath of the tragic death of Tyre Nichols. In the process of listening intently to the family of Tyre Nichols, community leaders, and uninvolved officers who have done quality work in their assignments, it is in the best interest of all to permanently deactivate the Scorpion unit. The officers currently assigned to the unit agree unreservedly with this next step. While the heinous actions of a few cast a cloud of dishonor on the titled Scorpion, it is imperative that we, the Memphis Police Department, take proactive steps in the healing process for all impacted. The Memphis Police Department remains committed to serving our community and taking every measure possible to rebuild the trust that has been negatively affected by the death of Tyre Nichols. As a result, guys, there have been protests all across the country in the wake of this video being released. You can see video footage here. People were actually on the interstate blocking uh, in downtown Memphis, blocking traffic to protest Tyree's death. Police, officers. The fallout from the footage was disturbing to say the least. But there are some points I'm going to point out. Now, I will not play this video. I don't feel like playing it, honestly. And although, as an attorney, I've seen stuff like this, I just don't feel like going back over it. However, I will show some excerpts that were disturbing that I will see first. Let me play this footage from Fox 8 regarding the protest that occurred.
Coverage with a warning. The video we're about to show, it is graphic and could be disturbing to some.
Authorities are releasing the video, they say, in response to public outrage over Nichols' death. Suzanne Stratford has more.
And let me point this out, too. The video footage is broken up. There are different body camera footages, different camera footages from different angles. The most telling that you all probably have seen in the clip is not a body camera, is not from the body cameras of the officers, but for me, I believe it was footage from from the light post across the street that showed the beating taking place and how these officers basically manhandled Tyre Nichols. Now, it is graphic. What you're seeing is disturbing, but this is common in what happens to young black men across the country. It doesn't matter if the officer is black or white. The problem is the issue is blue. The issue is white supremacy. Now, I'm going to get into that as it relates to the black conservatives, these bootlicks who get on YouTube, who get on national TV and embarrass themselves. He was attacking black people with that tirade. We'll talk about that in a minute. But let's play this video.
But what I've heard is very horrific. Very horrific. And any of you who have children, please don't let them see it.
You might get sprayed again.
His mom can't watch, but wants the public to see exactly what happened to her son. 29-year-old Tyre Nichols on his way home from photographing the sunset when he's pulled over by Memphis police, who immediately rushed the car with guns drawn.
Make no mistake, Tyre Nichols at all times was an innocent victim on that night. He did nothing wrong.
Family attorneys point to police body cam video Friday that shows an officer here repeatedly hitting him in the face. Other portions are off camera, but here again, they're holding the FedEx worker and father and hitting him over and over and over.
Look, he's detained. His hands are, I believe he's cuffed at this point. They got him, they got a hold of him, and they're still punching him over and over again. And more than likely what happened, he bled internally.
Over. While he's already detained, Tyre appears to collapse, but even that doesn't stop the 5 officers. His mother learning later that he was calling her name.
Mom! For me to find out that my son was calling my name and I was only feet away, did not even hear him. You have no clue how I feel right now. No clue.
Tyre appears to say stop as he's hit with a taser and pepper spray. At one point running, attorneys say fearing for his life, but he's brought back and to the ground, looking lifeless and severely injured. The avid photographer and skateboarder passing away 3 days later. The 5 officers fired, arrested, and charged with second-degree murder, aggravated assault, kidnapping, and official misconduct.
The family is very satisfied with the process, with the police chief, the DA. They acted very, very quickly in this case. We are very, very pleased with that. Other cases drag on, but this is a special case.
And a special young man, they say, who didn't deserve this brutal death. The family now wanting justice, but also peace.
We do not want any type of uproar. We do not want any type of disturbance. We want peaceful protests. That's what the family wants. That's what the community wants.
And I want to say to the 5 police officers that murdered my son, I'm going to pray for you and your families, because at the end of the day, this shouldn't have happened.
No, that's right.
This just shouldn't have happened. We want justice for my son. Justice for my son.
Justice for Tyre.
Justice for Tyre.
In Cleveland.
President Biden released a statement expressing outrage and said he is deeply pained by the video and that he has spoken with Nichols' parents. Meantime, 2 Shelby County Sheriff's deputies have been suspended in that area. The sheriff says they were also on the scene, and although they didn't participate in the beating, the sheriff says their actions that night are being investigated.
Now, the city of Cleveland released a statement saying, at this time, we are not aware of
Let me stop because this is a little old, but
any planned protests or related activities in the city of Cleveland. We will update the community as needed over the week.
They reported this, and in regards to that, now they disbanded the group, fine, but the Memphis police chief has some more. I got more questions for her. This chief, Sherilyn Davis, was previously fired from her job in Atlanta after a botched sex crimes probe. Now, she created this Scorpion unit. This Scorpion unit that is responsible for the death of Tyre Davis. And she stayed away and was very silent. And this is another point to make. When all of this came out, when we were, before the body camera footage came out, she was nowhere to be found. She came out recently, only recently, before the body camera footage was displayed was released to the world. A few days after is when she gave that press conference and talked about and distanced herself from those officers because she knew it was going to be bad. Now, she was fired from the Atlanta Police Department in 2008 because she was allegedly involved in a sex crimes investigation into the husband of an Atlanta police sergeant. 2 detectives accused Davis of telling them not to investigate Terrell Marion Crane, who was married to Sergeant Tonya Crane, after the police department obtained photos of him allegedly with underage girls. A federal grand jury indicted Terrell Kane on child pornography. He pled guilty to 1 count of child pornography in 2009. And the indictment was issued after Atlanta police took no action in the case, and a subsequent investigation by the city pointed to Davis as the reason. Davis was demoted from major to lieutenant before being fired from the force that she had joined in 2008. And at this time, if I'm not mistaken, Chief Pennington was the police chief in Atlanta around that time. Pennington, of course, was our police chief. Richard Pennington was the police chief here in New Orleans. Now, so this is this police chief. Will she be fired soon? And I think she will. And I've been talking to my man. Shout out to our brother and friend, Ron Hurd. I'm sure he's watching now. Ron has been calling for her to be fired. You know, Ron is up in Memphis. I've seen Judge Joe Brown talk about it, but Judge, of course, he has to watch what he says since he's running for mayor out there in Memphis. And if I could vote for him, I would, because I think we need an independent. A lot of these things, and I'm going to talk about the Black conservatives in a minute. The only thing I will agree with them regarding this is that a lot of this stuff does take place in the Democratic cities. I'm not ignoring that. That stuff is true. You said she was the police chief in Durham, North Carolina last year. Well, she was the police chief. Okay, so she joined the Memphis Police Department. It looks like in 2021, she became the first female police chief. So I don't know about last year. But what is interesting was this video I saw here. This is Rodney Wells. This is Tyre's stepdad. I believe he was on a podcast with someone. He made this observation, and I pointed this out too. If you saw the our thumbnail for YouTube, when we pointed out when it was a screenshot of the footage when Tyre was arrested, there was a white officer that was involved as well in trying to tase Tyre. Now,
there was a white officer that was tasing my son. And we don't understand how come his name was not put out there or mentioned in this whole fiasco.
The media is not talking about it either. It's very
so yes,
odd.
I think that there should be quite a few additional charges. There was a white officer that was tasing my son.
We don't know the identity of this white officer. We have never known the identity of this white officer as of yet. And I saw this myself, and I wonder why he was not charged with anything. Of course, you know, the issue with murder, improving murder, I got more footage from the arrest. The problem with murder, of course, is, and I gave the laws, I gave you all the laws and breakdown out in Memphis, how it's different in different cities. There may be an intent element. I think it might be difficult as to what we call a continuation of events from the time period of the initial stop till afterwards. And by the way, the reason why let's point this out too, and I'm going to mention this. They've stated, as well as the police chief, that they can't verify any reasonable grounds why Tyre was stopped. And that's going to play a very important role in the next topic.
Shit, you sprayed me too, but luckily didn't get in my eyes, just on my eyebrow. I hope they stomp his ass.
That's Tyre's father.
I hope they stomp his ass. Smith is calling for other cars because him and Martin are chasing him.
I hope they stomp his ass.
Shit, you sprayed me too, but luckily didn't get in my eyes, just on my eyebrow. I hope they stomp his ass. I hope they stomp his ass. Smith is calling for other cars because him and Martin are chasing him.
Let me stop this. This was the initial stop. And this is what I'm talking about here. Now, it's graphic, but this is the white cop. This is what I'm talking about.
Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. You get your ass blown the fuck out. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out the fucking car. Damn, I didn't do anything. Hey, I didn't turn your ass around. All right. You don't do that, okay? Get on the fucking ground. Get on the ground. Okay. Tase your ass. All right, I'm on the ground. Lay down. That's all. Please get on the ground. I'm going to tase you. Get on the ground. Lay down. One. Now, I'm tasing. All right, okay. Break your shit. Okay, dude, damn. Turn the fuck around. Put your fucking hands on your back. Bitch, put your hands on your back. Okay, stop. I'm gonna knock your ass the fuck out. You guys are really doing a lot right now. Bro, lay down. I'm just trying to go home. Lay down. Man, if you don't lay down. Bro, I am on the ground. Put your hands on your stomach. I got you.
Listen, you see, one office, this white punk has his hand on Tyre. He's got he's got his whole arm pulled behind his back, and they're telling him to lay on your stomach, and you see this bitch grabbing his wrist. This officer is grabbing his wrist, holding it down. How is he going to lay on his stomach when you both got his arms, and one person's twisting his arm like a fucking pretzel? This is the white cop, by the way.
Okay. Stop! I'm not doing it.
This is the point where Tyre Nichols-
Freeze! Oh, shit!
Now, I want to talk about something because it's going to relate to this next topic. We're going to go into it. We're going to go into this, but how these black conservatives have embarrassed themselves. Now, I'm not surprised and shocked when I see this, but Jason Whitlock was on Tucker Carlson. And I want you to play, he put the poll clip of what he said when he was on Tucker Carlson. But you got to realize who this man is, who his history is, why people feel this way. And it was only a matter of time before they were going to use it to shame black people. Now, I'm going to talk about him, and I'm going to talk about someone else too. By the way, fair use for all of this. Hey, this is commentary. All of this is commentary. All of this is commentary.
Everyone's behaving inappropriately, including these 5 Memphis police officers. It's an open and shut case. The camera from above captures the police doing something totally illegal. The second-degree murder charges are warranted. This is going to be a revisitation of the Walter Scott, the guy that got shot on camera by a cop in the back. He got convicted, went to prison. It's an open and shut case. This is too. I don't get what people are protesting about. These are 5 black officers. The victim is black. The police chief is black. The police.
Well, here's the thing. Now, if nobody was protesting, so he brings up the fact, Whitlock mentions the fact, I don't know why everybody's protesting. They were all arrested quickly. The difference, Stay Puffed, is when a white cop, you saw this video, when white officers shoot unarmed black people, unarmed black men, typically we don't get that footage until months on end or a year on end. When Ahmaud Arbery was killed, and these were civilians that killed Ahmaud Arbery, it took months before an arrest could be made. Because you had an attorney, out there in Georgia, you had 2 district attorneys, that one of whom I believe is Jackie Johnson, is being charged with malfeasance in office because she did everything to try and protect those racist bastards. She got caught.
The camera from above captures the police.
And you know this.
Doing something totally illegal. The second-degree murder charges are warranted. This is going to be a revisitation of the Walter Scott, the guy that got shot on camera by a cop in the back. He got convicted, went to prison. It's an open and shut case. This is too. I don't get what people are protesting about. These are 5 black officers. The victim is black. The police chief is black. The police have been fired and charged, and they will be convicted, I would assume, by a predominantly black jury in a city that's 65% black. So the system is going to work here. What the other system that's working is the corporate media's insistence on promoting racial division at the behest, in my view, of the military-industrial complex. They want us all looking at this and not looking at what they're doing in Ukraine as they drag America and the world into World War III. This is a distraction, in my opinion. CNN hyped this video like they were hyping the Super Bowl. And there's really only 60 seconds of relevant content. You show the police misconduct from overhead as they brutalize this man and make it clear this is an open and shut case and the guys are going to be convicted, and we move on. They treated this like a Super Bowl, enraging people, promoting the violence, and this is the most important story in the history of the planet. It's not. What's going on in Ukraine and our military involvement in Ukraine, that's the most important story going on in the world, but they don't want you focused on that.
That is such a good point.
Well, let me say this. I didn't like the media hype either that was going on. But here he says it's an open shut case. But then the problem with Whitlock and many other conservatives is that they do a little backhanded comment about blacks. And I'm hoping since he put the whole clip up, you're going to see the little backhanded remark.
And you've been in the news business all your life, 35 years or something. I felt guilty putting that video on the screen, not because I was on anyone's side. I felt obviously bad about it. It was horrible. But because you don't want to put ugly things on TV and inflame passions. You want people to be reasonable and think things through and reach wise decisions. Why would news organizations
inflame passions all the time? You're on Fox News, for goodness sakes. I'm not giving CNN a pass either. I'm not giving MSNBC a pass. But you guys flame stuff all the time.
They really want to make people enraged. Clearly,
they don't want us focused on reality. Hey, if they want us to devote an hour of coverage to this and weekend coverage of this, and they want to take us to a good place, I would examine the racial element of this, because there is a racial element. And this is a story about young black men and their inability to treat each other in a humane way. Everybody involved in this on the street level was either 24 to 32 years old. Everybody. It was a group of young black men, 5-on-1. Looked like gang violence to me. It looked like what young black men do when they're supervised by a single black woman. And that's what they got going on in the Memphis Police Department. They've elected or put some black woman in charge of the police force. And we're getting the same kind of chaos and disunity and violence that we see in a lot of these cities that are run by single mothers. If we want to discuss the breakdown of family that leads to disrespect for authority, that causes you to resist the police and run from the police and not comply with the police because you resist authority at all time, because there was no male authority in your home, let's have that discussion. But that's not where they want to take us.
So he wants to change this he calls and says it's a murder. He agrees it's a murder. By the way, YouTube just age restricted this, which I knew they were going to mess with it. They're both bad. They're both bad. The problem with Jason Whitlock's remark, he wants to make this into a familial issue about single mothers. We can have that talk if you want to have that talk on a separate day. But this was about accountability. This is not about that. This is about accountability. This is about several officers rather, who broke the law. People who are sworn by the taxpayers to protect them, to protect and serve. That's their motto on the car, right? To protect and serve. But apparently it's to protect themselves and sever others, sever citizens, because they sever black people to death, whether it's by shooting them or beating them up. And you talk about this woman, and while I may have my criticisms of her, she's married with a daughter. She's not a single woman. She's not a single mother. How did we get to that? Why are you talking about that? You deflect, which is why you are rightfully getting the criticism that you deserve.
They want to take us down the path of saying, you know what? This is Tucker Carlson's fault. This is some random this is Donald Trump's fault. It's not. It's the breakdown of family and the buying in to all these left-wing things that have nothing to do with promoting family.
You've been on the show so many times, and every single time you say something I never would have thought of, including what you just said, and I appreciate it. Jason Whitlock.
That's because y'all paid him money to say it. You can't say it. You thought of it. You can't say it because you know what will happen. You see, and I hope you all caught what Tucker Carlson said. You've been on this show 1,000 times, and you said something I hadn't even thought of. They thought of it. They think of it every day. That's bullshit. All a reflection of pathologies produced by the matriarchal culture that plagues black communities. What does this have to do? What does police brutality have to do with single mothers? And notice they don't mention the fact, never mention the fact, and I'm going to play another clip from another bootlet I was watching. This guy, do y'all know this guy? I listened to him on some stuff. See, I'm conservative. Black people in general, if we're going to talk real, black people are conservative in general. We believe in families. We believe in God for the most part. We believe marriage is traditionally a male and female. We don't really support abortion like talking about it. But where the rubber meets the road with conservatives like Whitlock, with people like this guy, I was watching him. Y'all have heard of him, this Anthony Logan dude, ABL. I was embarrassed by listening to what he was saying as a black male. And you can have your opinions, but for a black man to get up on YouTube and say, and this is fair use, by the way, all of this stuff is fair use. But he actually got on here talking about how all of these, if you listen carefully, I'm going to play the audio because I don't want him, I'm not going to get a copyright strike. But this man actually said, listen carefully, how all of this starts from resistance. All of these debts result because you resisted. Listen to what he says.
Not really trying to hurt you, not really trying to do too much, not really trying to intervene like that, because they know one false move, and it might not even be anything that hurts somebody. It could just be a thing that offends someone. Then they could lose their job, or they can have their lives ruined. And it's to the point now where having your life ruined, going viral on social media is more damaging than losing your job. It's a crazy mess. But as I close, I want to say this. May Tyre Nichols rest in peace and prayers out to his family. I think this was overboard, but some are going to say, I had to add this last part because that's a question, kind of an elephant in the room. Some say, well, why did they need all these guys to try and get this one guy down and couldn't even do it? Because when they first tried to apprehend him, he was able to escape their clutches and run away. Then they had to get him again, and he still resists, and they're fighting him tooth and nail, and they just cannot get him down. He's 6'3", 145 pounds. And for reference, I'm the same height. I'm 6'3". I'm 220 pounds right now. He's 145 pounds. Very, very skinny, frail dude. But you can be very strong at that weight if you got something else going on. Now, I'm not trying to make an assumption or an assertion.
There you are.
But I was listening to the body cam footage of the officers after the incident, and they're talking about how strong he was and that it might have been something else at play that made him be that strong. Okay, all the guys that were on there were pretty big, strong guys from the looks of it, but they were not able to get him down. So I think there's a lot more at play here than just, oh, well, he's innocent, unarmed, and they just went overboard.
Yeah. He is innocent. See, this is where the rubber meets the road with these Negroes and people that think like him that are dangerous. You ask me, Tyre, who was worse, Jason Whitlock or Michael Eric Dyson, they both are. And that's because white establishment, white people, whether it be on the liberal left side or on the right side, like Malcolm X said, is two wings on the same bird. When you have them thinking like this, saying this stuff, he says that he tries to, I'm not trying to say anything because I'm only going with the officer said, you're trying to imply basically that Tyre was on drugs. That's what you're trying. That's the inference that I get from what you're saying. And you talk about this, and I don't go and play. I'm not planning to play the whole video, but he says that those officers should have been fired and charged. But if you don't resist, this wouldn't happen. We have seen, and he says it doesn't happen. Most of the time, if you're not resisting, then it doesn't happen. Let me say this. I have seen video footage of people get shot by the police complying. Let me just shut that out. The man, let's show this. I'm gonna play this first, and I'm gonna show you this video footage. But I'm gonna finish.
Yes, they did go overboard, but you can't just absolve someone of any kind of accountability just because they were victimized in this kind of way. Like I said, all you got to do is just comply, don't resist, and you live to fight another day. If you think it did something wrong, go to court, get money.
Let's end this foolishness right now. Philando Castile complied. When you're pulled over and you have a concealed weapon, you're supposed to let the officers know you have a gun. He was still shot. I'm not reaching for my weapon, officer. The cowardly punk still shot him and got off. Let's look at this one. Hold on. His hands are up. Charles Kinsey, a mental health therapist out in Miami, Florida, who's laying on the ground with his arms raised. He was still shot in his leg. While laying on his ground with his hands raised, one officer, a SWAT team member, Jonathan Olita, who was basically 152 feet away, 46 meters, said he thought the patient was holding the therapist hostage and the small silver toy truck being clutched by the patient was a gun. He shoots him. His hands are in the air. It says here, a witness to the shooting told the AP that when police arrived, he grabbed binoculars and saw that the autistic man seated in the road next to Kinsey was holding a toy truck. He informed an officer that the man was holding a toy and not a gun, but she told him to back up and did not inform other officers. Kinsey was shot shortly afterwards. We can also talk about this one. We talk about comply. Hold on. Tamir Rice. This was a kid with an air rifle. Now, granted, we can talk about kids playing with toy guns and I was always told never point anything at anybody, especially if it's a gun, because police officers, if it's toy, they'll think it's real. But he was not given an opportunity to even surrender. But I want to finish playing the video. I'm going to finish playing what he has to say, because this is how far a lot of these bootlicks will go to protecting white daddy. I'm conservative. I have not, and you know what? There are things he talks about I agree with. Yeah, I do believe if you get stopped by the cops, you should comply to stay home. But we know there's always a chance that can never happen. That may be the best solution, and it is, but these officers were out of control by what has been reported. Now, yes, they deserve to have their day in court. They deserve due process. They obviously may be some defenses. I don't know what that they can make. One obviously, if any, typically if there are multiple people involved in a murder, if you play any role in that, like they would do, say if they were police officers. Let's say if this was a game, we know for a fact all of them would be locked up and thrown in jail. There's no question about it, because they do that all in. If you participate, if you are what we call a principal, or in Louisiana, or as you all say out in common law, the accessory before the fact, if you aid and abet in a commission of a crime during its duration, you're considered just as guilty, which is why the DA charged these guys with 5 counts of second-degree murder. But hold on, there's more. I want y'all to listen to this. Oh, I want y'all to listen to this. This could have been avoided. Hold on.
Don't try to have court right there in the street, because that battle is just going to be one you're not going to win. Violence doesn't usually happen to somebody in that situation, but what does happen normally is, okay, now you got a warrant. Now you got an arrest record. What could have been a simple ticket citation, all right, go about your day, or a warning, now turn into a crime. And for what purpose? None.
Well, here's the thing. He didn't get his day in court, though. You say it could have been a ticket citation. When you saw that, you saw the same footage as I did, Anthony. If you saw the same footage, those officers came in with their guns drawn, not with a pen and pad. They opened the car door and forced him out. And if you saw the press conference, then you would know that the police chief herself even said they had no evidence based off what initial reports, based off what they had in the discovery hasn't taken place yet. But you know as well as I do that they didn't get this information, that they did not have probable cause, which is what you have to do to initiate a stop, that a crime had taken place or a traffic violation had taken place. So if he was swerving, if he did anything like that, yes, that's grounds you could say for reckless driving. But the police chief, Davis, she came out and said, we don't have evidence to prove that they even had a right to do that. What if they mistook his car for someone else? This could have been avoided if the officers had done their job. That's how this video should have been titled, not Tyre Nichols caused his own death. And yes, does he have a responsibility when you're pulled over? Do you have a responsibility when you're pulled over by the cops? Yes, but the officers have an even greater responsibility, especially when they have a gun, to de-escalate any type of situation. Here, when I'm looking at the initial video, they came out, guns are blazing, irate, their voice was tempered. This is very similar to what happened with Alton Sterling in 2016 when Salamini came out and immediately tackled Alton Sterling, who, while he was armed, didn't have a gun in his hand. Just was aggressive the whole time. Even the Fed said it violated policy and that he was completely out of line.
But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? How do you feel about what happened here with Tyre Nichols? Do you think that the whole thing about resisting is the reason why it happened? Do you think it doesn't matter if he resisted, tried to fight, tried to grab the officer's gun, which I heard that he tried to do? It doesn't really matter what he did. The reaction was unwarranted. Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. Stop resisting. I don't care. People going to call me whatever. You know, I said that on Twitter. I said, people got to start resisting arrest. And I got called all kind of names, but people that called me names did not refute my argument. People that called me names did not say that I was wrong. Either I'm right or I'm wrong. It's just that simple. I've yet to see a video of a person getting beaten by police or dying in police custody that wasn't resisting.
He says, I ain't never seen a video. Listen to this.
Every single video that I've seen involves somebody that was resisting arrest. For what? For what? How are you really going to win that game even if there's no violence afterward? Doesn't make any sense. But whatever your thoughts are.
Bullshit. I already showed you all this. I already showed y'all the shooting of Charles Kinsey. I'm going to stop. I already showed this. I already saw this. I can also pull up another video. Hold on. Y'all remember this?
Can I see your license, please? Get out of the car! Get out of the car! Get on the ground! Get on the ground!
It's already started now. Got it.
Put your hands behind your back. Put your hands behind your back. Put your hands behind your back. Put your hands behind your back.
So distressing. What did I do? What did I do? He goes on to say his leg is numb and the officer calls in help. See there, are you hit? I think so. I can't feel my leg. I don't know what happened. CNN's Martin Savage is all over this story. Our legal analyst Paul Callan is also here. Martin, I want to ask you first the condition of the person who was shot.
So Anthony, to the Black conservative perspective, to Jason Whitlock, where is what about this compliance? He said, get your ID. I did. You still shot at him. You also brought up the fact that white people get beat up by the police too. Yeah, they do. That's true. There are more white people in this country than there are black people. They have more interactions. I agree. What does that have to do with this? Okay, and they get dealt with. Cops that do this get dealt with. Let's talk about the next topic. Since we're talking about police, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. I'm moving on. I'm trying to move fast. Yeah, YouTube is censoring a lot of people, and that I got something in store for them. But I want to talk about this one. What's going on with Paul Pelosi? Now, look how they handled this situation. Now, the body camera footage and the security footage, the home alarm footage that was taking place out in Frisco where Paul Pelosi resides, that was released. It was ordered by a judge to be released. And I have more and it leaves me with more questions than answers. And you know what? I actually agree with Anthony Brown Logan on that. I got some questions too, because they like commenting on stuff, especially when it involves the Democratic Party. And I'm not a fan of Democrats. I'm not giving them a pass, but let's not praise the Republicans either. See, this is where you all lose black when you want to go out and get black voters. You lose them. You lose black people when you start doing this blame a Negro bull crap. When you start wanting to put the onus on black people, pull up by your bootstraps and do it. Well, that goes both ways. You see this footage here? Fair use. Warning, there is like I stated in the other footage, there is graphic footage. And YouTube has been censoring people for playing this stuff. They determine it age inappropriate, and that's fine. Yes, some of it should be. I've never said that my videos were for children, which they're not. They're usually, especially if it's adult topics, they're usually centered around. I'm talking with 40, 50-year-old grown men, 30-year-old men, 20-year-old people, all of you who are in the chat. Now, of course, I've done some videos and stuff that's for everybody. But yes, when it comes to police brutality, when it comes to anything dealing with violence, I can understand, yeah, kids not being on it. But to censor someone, that should not take place. Especially when it's been seen and put on CNN. It's been seen on CNN. It's been seen on MSNBC or NBC. I don't see why it can't be shown on Gavin Richard's YouTube channel. This is the actual. I don't want a copyright strike for the music, but David DePape, is it DePape? It's not DePape. David DePape. Yes, it's French. So he's breaking into Nancy Pelosi's home on October 28, 2022, early in the morning. You see him with his bag of goodies there. And I guess this is the backyard, it looks like. So he's right there. He grabs the hammer, starts smashing the back door with it to try and break in. Now, this is at the Pacific Heights. This is in Pacific Heights. So Pelosi and DePape standing calmly with each other.
What's going on, man?
So that's Paul Pelosi. He has his hand on the hammer, and DePape is standing there. Now, here's my problem. When I look at this village, and you see it.
Yeah, literally sitting there.
Somebody opens the door. Now, he's holding his hand here, but you will see Paul Pelosi in a second has a drink in his hand.
What's going on, man?
So he clearly didn't grab the door with his left hand with it. He's got his hand on there.
Drop the hammer.
So,
no. Hey. What is going on right now?
I'm not getting any answer on call back.
This is how they handle somebody a congresswoman's husband, the Speaker of the House, If you're armed with a hammer and you hit someone, especially if you hit them hard enough, you could kill them. That is a dangerous weapon.
Edward 14 Everson, backup code 3.
What is it?
18 seconds. This is San Francisco Police. Do you need help?
Oh, well, there's a gentleman here just waiting for my wife to come back. Nancy Pelosi.
2:23
He's just waiting for her to come back, but she's not going to be here for a day, so I guess we'll have to wait.
Now listen to this now. This is my first time listening to this 911 call. Somebody is in your house. Somebody's in your house with a hammer. And just from what I'm hearing, just this initial call, he doesn't seem, you're listening to his voice. Now, Paul Pelosi is an elderly gentleman. He's 82 years old. And he doesn't seem excited. Doesn't seem frightened.
Okay, do you need police, fire, or medical for anything?
8 seconds. I don't think so. I don't think so. Is the Capitol Police around?
2:20. No, this is San
They usually
Francisco.
protect my wife. They're usually here at the house protecting my wife.
No, this is San Francisco Police.
Friday,
I understand.
2022.
Okay, well,
02:24
I don't know. What do you think?
18 seconds.
Think everything's good? He thinks everything's good. I've got a problem, but he thinks everything's good.
Do you know who the person is?
No, I don't know who he is. He has this. He's telling me. He's telling me not to. He's telling me not to do anything.
What is your name?
My name is Paul Pelosi.
Friday.
Anyway, this gentleman says that he thinks everything ought to, he's telling me to put the phone down and just do what he says.
18 seconds.
Okay?
Okay, what's the gentleman's name?
I don't know. What's that?
My name's David.
The name is David.
Okay, and who is David?
I don't know. What's that?
I'm a friend of theirs.
Yeah, he says he's a friend, but as I say, I've never.
But you don't know who he is?
No, ma'am.
I mean, he seemed calm and cool and collective as can be. Somebody that breaking into my house. Somebody breaking my house. Oh, I get the gap. You get the gap. I got places where I got guns all around my house. Y'all don't know. We ready. I stay ready so I don't have to be ready. And Paul was in his drawers. I don't know if he was coming out the restroom or what. But that was another question I had. Where was this coming from? And Paul Pelosi is grabbing the hammer. So the Pape, I think, by all intents and purposes, it looked like he opened the door. And he's getting this donut filled. Ugh. Said the restroom is a bar. He's getting the leaf blower. The leaf blower. Like in The Naked Gun. Y'all remember that scene? You talking about this? Oh, you talking about this? Oh God, that y'all gross. He had his got his Home Depot, had a Home Depot going on in it. I don't know. It could be. As Judge Joe Brown said, it is San Francisco. I don't know. And power tools, yeah. You had Tim Allen's grunt going on. It could be. It wouldn't surprise me if it was. If they got their freak on in there, but perish the thought. But you all saw how they handled this man. Now, yes, every situation is different. Every different circumstances. I get all of that. But we have the husband, the spouse of the Speaker of the House, who has an intruder breaking into his home, holding him hostage, apparently, with a deadly weapon as a hammer, swings at him, hits him, and he was handled much differently. Sorry, I got this tech. I had to deal with. Y'all saw the difference. Now, the final thing I want to get into. So that's the difference. But there's been more people I've noticed online have had questions about it. Y'all know Paul Pelosi is a businessman. Paul Pelosi, I've talked about him before. He operates financial leasing services out in Frisco, which is a capital investment and consulting firm dealing with real estate and venture capital. He's a multi-millionaire worth over $114 million. So he's not a buck. You think he's not broke. You would think he could afford, he didn't have to because he says Capitol Police come up to the house all the time. You would think, though, that he could have private security watching him. But this is why I tell people, have a gun. Learn firearm safety. Go to a range. Get you a firearm. You don't know what type of danger you're going to encounter in your house. You don't know what's going to happen when you're alone. Police can't stop crime. They can't stop crime when it happens. They can only investigate it after you're laying in the body bag. Now, luckily for him, that wasn't the case. But hit that notification bell, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. I got one final thing I want to get into. Donate to the CashApp, PayPal, or Zelle. There's fallout from this TikTok influencer. Have y'all seen this video footage? I've seen some of this stuff where these influencers who think they're so special, this Twitcher who think they're special, they want to actually show themselves at their gym in their tight clothes and talking about how they get harassed. They're being harassed by their men, by these strange men, these creeps who are checking out their body and trying to make moves, like the girl who said you need something. Remember that video that went viral? I saw this video by this Twitcher who calls herself Jessica49. By Twitch, they're on Twitter. And she has, from what I looked at as a content creator, she has over 13,000 followers on Twitter. So this is her Twitter page, right? And she posted a video of her working out at the gym. And people called her out for it. Now I'm going to play the video for everybody that hasn't seen it. This is the video here.
Comfortable.
So,
So uncomfortable. So uncomfortable. So.
This is how to not approach girls at the gym.
So uncomfortable.
I want y'all to look at this. She's got a microphone on in her bra, her sports bra. And she's wearing headphones and she's filming. Now, as someone who works out in the gym, myself, it's not uncommon. You may see some people with their camera, especially some females, might be recording something. They may want to put it on IG later to show how good they look or what they're doing for their followers. And she's got this camera obviously pointed in this man's direction. And keep in mind, she's looking, now this is a mirror. Obviously, there's a mirror. I take there's a mirror right there so she can see herself. But she's looking at him. And his camera is pointed directly at him.
Feral, like fucking feral.
Oh, looks like someone just learned a new vocab word.
Feral.
So if you're wondering what's going on in this clip, the answer is not a lot. We have a girl working out and a guy in a completely different zip code about whom she's having some sort of paranoid delusion.
This is 5 pounds.
Only about 10 seconds into this clip did it become apparent that she's so insecure and starving for attention that she decided to gaslight herself into believing she was in actual danger.
Oh God, be careful. Excuse me? You don't have to do that. It's okay. No, it's okay. I got it. Thank you, though.
He then turns it.
So he went there, obviously, to put the weight on the lift bar for her to help her. And she writes, he was only working out behind me to go up to me because I was at a squat rack all the way in the corner of the gym to avoid weirdos like that. Now, I don't like when they have the, when there's other people doing the video. Now, I think she took the video down, but other people were talking about it. I'm definitely talking about it because I got to call you out on this. Now, she got called out, which is why a lot of people were complaining about her. She posted an apology. She even did a video about it, but she tried to make it look like she was the victim in the initial video. Now, this is her apology that she made. She says, most of my comments aren't serious, so please take them all with a grain of salt. Since the gym video has blown up way bigger than I anticipated, I obviously noted my comments have become somewhat contradictory. I stated the video was for awareness and then said for entertainment. This was twisted into people thinking I made up the situation for entertainment. However, I meant the video was meant for awareness, but the comments I had made about being an underage 21-year-old, a TikTok inside joke, and about ripping his pee-pee off and natural selection were meant for entertainment, to be taken as a joke and not to be taken seriously. The video was for awareness, and I will not apologize for how I felt in that situation. There was an issue prior to this part of the recording that led me to taking the second part of my workout for my own safety due to past experiences I've had. I realize now that if I would have posted for awareness, I could have kept the stare counter and blurred his face and make it more clear that when I am joking, this is how I tend to cope. I was not thinking when that video was posted. I was thinking of this from a content perspective, like what jokes should I say that women could relate to, and not from how they how could this negatively affect the people in the video? From my point of view, this seemed like a relatable, funny video some women could relate to. I am sorry that I painted this man. Oh, this is all bullshit. This is a not well done apology, if she meant that. I'm sorry that I painted this man in a bad light, but that's how I seriously felt. You did paint this man in a bad light by accusing him of something he wasn't even doing. You come off as an idiot. And whatever problem, and I'm sorry for whatever situation she's had, because if I'm not mistaken, she talked about how she was being abused and raped and sexually assaulted, allegedly, if I'm not mistaken. And, you know, I feel for people like that and why they may feel a certain way, but you paint men with a broad brush and you give real accusers you make it hard for real life situations, because I'm supposed to believe every time a man looks at you, they're sexualizing you. You got a camera in front of you recording in his line of sight. And if I saw you, especially with a microphone on your sports bra talking to yourself, I probably look over at you, not because I think you're cute, because I think you're nuts. I think you're a nut. You got over 56,000 followers on Twitch. She has 13,000 on Twitter. And she got called out, rightfully so, for this. I thought I was doing, I'm going to finish reading. It was wrong for me to take a situation like this and post it on the internet for all to see. I was doing right. I thought I was doing right and being entertaining at the same time, but I made a gross mistake to combine the two. No, you were clout chasing. You were clout chasing, and you were trying to, you even have on Twitter, you put, this guy kept making me extremely uncomfortable at this gym. This is why I'll end up crying on screen, because I feel so grossed out at times with the amount of sexualization I experience. Hopefully this spreads awareness for girls who experience this type of treatment at the gym. So she puts this up. I don't know if that is her OnlyFans page or whatnot. They reported that, but I think she denied it. And she did of her, and what she wrote in her apology video, and I'll leave a link to it. She had a PS saying that I don't have an OnlyFans. I have a fan house, which is a SFW website where I connect with my supporters. And she says Joey Swole, who's a fitness influencer as well, that's what caused her to wake up. If y'all want to look at the apology in full, you can. That was just a screenshot I read. But she says she suffered from sexual assault and sexual harassment prior to this situation. And in the past, these events were extremely damaging to me. Well, and I don't doubt that they were. But you took it a step. I know you got more common sense. Even if this if that happened to you, and I'm sorry it did, ma'am, you obviously had enough sense to put that phone on record, film it, and put it in this man's direction. And when he tried to help you, you wanted to make it out like you were being attacked. But you see, I'm grateful. I'm glad the man wasn't, heterosexual men in general, heterosexuality is being attacked in this country. There's going to come a time, I believe, when straight people, it's going to be a crime to look at, it's going to be a crime to even get a girl's number. It's going to be a crime to holler at a woman. It's going to be, right now they're doing it now. Look what they did with that catwalk video. Almost 10 years ago when they had the whole catwalk, it made it look like, and you could tell the video was edited, but they made it look like it was black men who were mostly hollering at her, trying to do, trying to holler at her, get her number, and harass her. And no, she ain't cute. And I'm glad Jimmy Swole called her out for it. These women are out of control. You are out of control. You're nuts. And she broke down live about it. It's just like the TikToker who went viral with the "You Need Something." Y'all remember that? She got called out and she got called out and was banned from that gym because she tried to get that brother in trouble. Black men go through this all the time. This guy who did that, he's lucky she apologized. A black man wouldn't get an apology if the roles were reversed. And she had to apologize because she got caught. Now, I don't know where the video footage is. Now I finished playing it. Hold on. Yeah, exactly. But you see, a brother would never get that. Remember, you need something. Remember this one? The "You Need Something" girl. She wasn't cute either. Yeah. Let's keep it pushing. Yeah, what was her? She's entitled. That's her problem. She's entitled. But we're gonna wrap this up, y'all. But I'm glad. Yeah, you're wearing tight clothing. Well, look, if you're wearing tight clothing, your butt is out. You're sweating. Look, the gym is a sexual place, basically. It is a type of a club. Now, of course, when people are working out, you don't want to bother them. You don't want to look in. Look, I see women come in all the time. And I might be dating somebody, but I'm not blind. Like I tell you, hey, I see a pretty girl, I'ma look. I might glance over. I may not look too hard, but I'm gonna check. Yeah, I see it. But they weren't doing anything in that position. One hollering at them, and I have seen examples, yes, where it got to be too much if they were just harassing them. Of course, and they go there for, and a lot of them do go over there for attention. That's why they try and get in shape. But this is attention grabbers. These are whoremongers, to say the least, and they got caught, and it backfired. What their plan to get attentions, to get likes, they went clout chasing, thinking they were going to get likes and that people were going to subscribe to their channels and follow them, and it backfired because people deep down are tired of this bullshit. You want to earn followers, you want to make money, come up with some better content. Do some things that attract the people. Work hard. You're welcome, Bookie. Work hard for it, like I do. Like Sean James does, like Brother Bernard does, countless others. You trying to attack somebody falsely. Don't do that shit. Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, speaking of falsely accused, the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania versus William H. Cosby Jr. is on Kindle, ladies and gentlemen. Go ahead and purchase that. You can purchase that on Kindle right now. Also, donate to the Cash App, PayPal, Zelle. As this channel is not monetized, we appreciate any support. I ask for donations because, hey, I work hard. You know, this is a job. This is a job. It's not almost. This is a job. I'm pushing. I'm working hard so you all can have better content. You can listen to this. So if you are able to, please donate to our channel. If you'd like to support me by ordering some Creole seasoning, go to NawneysCreoleBlends.com right now. Try it on chicken, meat, or fish. Nawneys goes great with every dish, ladies and gentlemen. Also, you want to donate to. If you also want to check out our Patreon, you can go there for some videos. I have my comedy. I have some comedy shows that I've done. You can check it out and go there now. Also, if you'd like to advertise, hit us up on Gmail, gavin.julius1@gmail.com. Ladies and gentlemen, and of course, you can check out our songs such as Video Soul and Gotta Get On Up. Now, of course, we've gotten on down. It's now time to get on up. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and do that. For real, I was in the gym the other day where folks were wearing clothes so tight I thought it was in a Broadway stage production of Cats. Well, you saw a lot of felines in there, huh? Yeah. That's a dead giveaway when you say cat. You actually saw I take it you saw the play. It'd be worse if you saw the movie. Well, damn that, it's all bad. Ugh. It's like Al Bundy. Remember when he got caught? When he was the Reverend Al Bundy? Going to see that production of Cats with Peg for her birthday. I have sinned. I have consorted with my wife. All right. It's time to get on up, family. I got to get out of here. Good night, y'all.
Gotta dance to the beat, cause on the dance floor is where we'll live. Show me what you got. Gotta feel the groove.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the. Right now the party's wasted. There's nothing much to do. But once the groove gets started, tell me, what do you have to lose? Just look into my eyes, girl, as we glide across the room. And what to my surprise now, the beat takes hold of you. Now if you're feeling like I'm feeling, so come on baby, let's start dealing. Time to get this party started. Ain't no time for the broken hearted. When the rhythm takes hold of you, there's only one thing left to do. Cause the beat is really moving. Time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the. Tell the DJ play the whispers. Rock steady in the mood. Put on earth, wind, and fire. Tonight we're gonna groove. Show me how you do the four corners. Electric slide or two. Hit the bus stop, I'll do the bunny hop, baby. It's really up to you. Now if you're feeling like I'm feeling, so come on baby, let's start dealing. Time to get this party started. Ain't no time for the broken hearted. When the rhythm takes hold of you, there's only one thing left to do. Cause the beat is really moving. Time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up. Now 2020 hasn't been the best year of all times. We've been dealing with death, the pandemic, racism, bad policing, and all the bad rhymes. But like Uncle Snoop once said, if you're breathing, you're achieving. So if you're ready, I need you all to get on up. Are you ready? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Get your butt on the dance floor. 5 and 6 and 7, 8. This jam we appreciate. We're gonna slide and step on the beat. On the dance floor is where we'll feel the groove. Get on the floor. Get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the floor, baby. Yeah, gotta get on the baby. Come on, baby, gotta get on the baby. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the